Nice, very nice. And it's funny because, again, why does this work so much? Look at her positioning compared to the, right? She's totally isolated, right? She's way too aggressive. Like, this is something that snipers really want to do. And if you didn't bully her here, she's going to kill your team, right? It's over.
Mm-hmm.
Your team's screwed. So the people that you can kill are also the people that will kill your team if you don't kill them. A lot of tanking is going to come down to you punishing, number one, what you're good at punishing. Like a Winston doesn't dive a Roadhog, a Winston dives the backline, right? But then also, two, and this is really important, you ascertaining what is the most dangerous / what is the most aggressive member of the enemy team, and then using that information as well. In other words, if I'm playing Winston and the Zenyatta is playing way too aggressive, not only do I need to kill that Zenyatta because he's a squishy target, but also if I have an Ana and a Zenyatta and the Zen is feeding with this position, the Ana is not, I jump the Zen. Why?
Easy to kill and you don't get punished as much.
Right. But it's not just because he's easier to kill. It's also that if you ignore the Zenyatta versus if you ignore the Ana, which one's more likely to hurt your team?
Zen.
Right. And it's not just because it's Zenyatta, it's because he's playing more aggressively than the Ana. Do you kind of see what I'm saying? So right now, you're going to punish ball. Okay. But what's the problem? Obviously, you've kind of locked in your punch right now, but what's the problem with that? Look at your screen.
Yeah, the Ash just went up top.
Do you see that? The Ash is now the more aggressive member of the enemy team. And not only that, that's also a target that you happen to be very good at. So the problem with this is, while in theory this disruption, this zoning, the Sojourn is all fine and dandy, really this isn't important. This is important. You kind of see what I'm saying? There's a gap between her aggression and the rest of her team, and that's something that you have to punish. And it, like I said, it also happens to be a matchup that you're really good at. Now I'm going to cut you some slack because it was like a last second thing, like she showed up like right as you're charging your punch. But it also, really unfortunately, happens to be that this target, while free firing, kills your Pharah, when she should be the one that should have died. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this skill is like, I mean, like it is tanking. It is everything to do with tanking, is recognizing who's the most aggressive member of the enemy team that I can punish, that I'm good at matching up and punishing that target. Now, here's what I'm going to say again. This is why awareness is really important, okay? Okay, look at the enemy team. Look at the Ana, look at the ball. The Ana is sort of kind of isolated, but you don't know the status of her cooldown, so she's not punishable. Ball's not aggressive at all, so he's not punishable. Now, do you see what's happening on the right-hand side of your screen? Do you see through the wall?
Yep.
So the question is, what should you do?
Should stay up on the Sojourn.
Right. And then now this is where we don't even really care about the distinction between kill and disrupt. Are you going to kill her? Are you going to disrupt her? I don't know. You're going to at least get a disrupt her, but she cannot stay here. If she stays here, she kills your team. If she stays here, she might die if you punish her. So it's a perfect mix, but you have to recognize it. Now my question is do you recognize it?
No, I don't think I saw her at all.
You don't see her. And my problem here is not that you didn't see her because, oh, that's an awareness issue. I wasn't. No, you weren't looking for her.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You see the Ana, she's not aggressive. Okay, check off the list. Next, Sojourn. You should know this, right? Now, if this was like a Tracer, maybe this is a little bit harder. I would still want to be aware of her because you could shoot a Tracer, right? Maybe if the Tracer's literally in your backline by herself, you could have punished her. But this is absurd to me. This target is going to get a kill. This target is going to create space. This target's going to, like look at your Junkrat. Why is your Junkrat not up here with you, you know? Well, we know why, right? Why is your Kiriko, at a risk of dying? Well, we know why. So you, meanwhile, are like, what do I do? Okay, here we go. We get the res. Do we get the res? We let to get the res off. But why do you let the res happen? Why?
Didn't have punch.
Right, you didn't have punch. But also, why was that Mercy given space? It's kind of a snowball effect. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Give up bridge for free.
You give up bridge for free. You forget about Sojourn, which then allows the Sojourn to zone your backline, which then allows the Mercy to get res. Like, look at what's happening in your backline right now. Kiriko can't walk forward. Kiriko's got to hide behind a wall. It's a mess. So it's like a multitude of issues that all comes from you just not putting attention to the right things. Now, that sucks, but what's good about the situation right now, at least?
I pushed both DPS off bridge.
Right. Sojourn and Ash are in horrible positions. So the funny thing here, the funny question, I guess, is who do you punish now? Who do you go for right now?
I think Ball. He's the only one up.
Yeah, you see that? Isn't that weird?
Mm-hmm.
You've gone from being literally Ball is just completely worthless here. Don't even ignore Ball. But there is such a massive gap between the sniper's aggression and the Ball's aggression that now you're just literally power punch Ball. This is the right target, right? I mean, look at the gap. I mean, when we talk about out of position, we talk about aggression of her versus the rest of her team. There it is. Punch her. If you don't punch her, she survives. If she survives, one member of your team dies. You mess up, but at least the intention was there too. And by the way, I also like this position because did you hear what just happened here?
Sleep dart.
Right. So you were not even going for the kill. You were just looking threatening, restabilize, and go from there. Now here's a question for you. Where's the Ashe?
She's still top, I believe.
So who's the most aggressive member of the enemy team right now?
The Ashe.
Right. And it also happens to be that if you go for the Ashe, this also is not a place where you can get punished at all. You see what I'm saying? And that's the thing. When there's a member of the enemy team that's too aggressive, if you punish them, you're not going to get punished yourself because look at the supports. The supports are playing defensively, right? They're not in a position to help this Ashe. This person is punishable. This person is punishable. Just like the Sojourn being here was too aggressive to where she couldn't get punished, you can't get punished for punishing her. But this is the wrong target. You know what I'm saying? This is the wrong target. It's not bad. The Sojourn was kind of aggressive there. The Ball was kind of aggressive here. But this Ashe is still free firing on your team. Still free firing on your team. Your problem so far has been what, though?
Just like not recognizing when to swap.
Right. But so what skill do we need to practice to get better at that? Because I think not recognizing is kind of like a vague skill, right? Like, so how do you get better at awareness? That's such a stupid thing to say, right? So how do you improve that?
Just like actively think about every time I get my cooldowns up, who I should be going for.
Right.
Just kind of looking around first.
Right. Look, just a moment of awareness of like where are they, and especially the priority targets because we highlighted those immediately at the start of the review, didn't we? Right. We know the Ashe, we know the Sojourn, the Ana. Those are our 3 targets that we're really interested in because those targets are the easiest for us to deal with. So if we know where those 3 targets are at all times, as much as we possibly can, then that's going to make your decision about which one to go for a lot easier. We can talk about things like Sleep Dart as well, but actually those 3, where their position is actually even more important than the status of things like Sleep Dart.
How to word this? What's like the best practice, I guess, when there's nothing going on, like in the pre-fight staging? Should I just be looking to take like where I think the most aggressive person will be? Like if it's true neutral, I should take high ground because the Ashe will be high ground.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I look to respond.
I think it's like this. So when I get this question a lot when I was coaching tracers, because tracers do a lot of the same thing. You try and find the most aggressive off angle, then try and herd it back into the team. You kind of see what I'm saying? So then the question is then what happens when the enemy team isn't taking aggressive angles and like they're just kind of like clumped up? Well, then your only priority at that point in time is then you think selfishly. Okay, then I want to set up the best engage for me. Whether that's high ground, whether this is one sick flank that you got, whether it's like, this punch from this position can reach, then that becomes a selfish question. You got to see what I'm saying? So like if we go back to first fight, the enemy team is all back here, right? Your Pharah, let's say, is alive. This is an alternate universe. Everybody's happy and everybody's dandy. And you want to go in because the ball just slammed your backline. Your Pharah's with you. Okay, so then from this position here, or from, let's just say from here, where's the best engage on their backline if they're back over here? Is it through here? Is it punching through here? Is it a slam engage to here, baiting Sleep Dart, and then looking to charge and then punching from there? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's the question that you have to ask. What works best for my hero? What do I enjoy? Would I like to engage? And then go from there. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Once you've done your homework and controlled the most aggressive angles or the angle that you really want to worry about, then you set up your engage selfishly. And I will say, like, let's say we got them off of high ground, but like let's say there's Sojourns take an aggressive position, but you just have the freest engage on the Zenyatta on the world right here. Like sometimes it's okay to ignore the enemy aggression if you see a free kill elsewhere. It's just something that you need to keep in mind so that you know when you can break the rule. Do you know what I'm saying? The reason we were talking so much about the Sojourn and the Ashe and this high bridge is because the Ana was like and flipping across the map. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Completely inaccessible. But if there are widows like here, or there's somebody else aggressively pushing forward or doing, your team can survive versus the Sojourn for a second when you go get a kill. But at least you need to have that information and knowledge so that you can make the decision. I guess it's Rico. Nice. Nice. Very nice. And it's funny because, again, why does this work so much? Look at her positioning compared to the, right? She's totally isolated, right? She's way too aggressive. Like, this is something that snipers really want to do. And if you didn't bully her here, she's going to kill your team, right? It's over. Your team's screwed. So the people that you can kill are usually the teams, are also the people that will kill your team if you don't kill them.
Point, because we had to stop it, but
yeah. Okay, so we can look at another replay code in a second. But what are you seeing so far?
Kind of like locking into decisions, like we talked about a little bit. When I make up my mind, I don't check anywhere else to see if there's a better option. I just go with it.
Yeah. It's like you have an idea of like who you want to go for. I go for Ana. That's what I'm going to do. But the problem is that's only half the equation. You know what I'm saying? The other half is, where is that Ana? You know what I'm saying? Is that Ana in a position to where I can punish her, or even I want to punish her? The problem here is that we kept seeing situations where, for this particular VOD, it was actually the Ashe who was playing the most aggressively, the most consistently, and you ignored her so much. You know what I'm saying? And that's why it's important. Like, it's context, right? Like, there might be games where you literally have the Moira fading into your backline, and that becomes your priority target, the freaking Moira, right? There might be times where, the Zenyatta is me and is like a brainiac, millionaire genius, and is always playing super defensive, super tricky, and just baiting you, and you can't ever go for the Zen. And as backwards as that feels like, then all of a sudden your priority becomes just to punch bot the Winston, who's not getting help from the Zen because he's playing too defensively. You know what I'm saying? You have to make those reads. And I think that's something that you need to get better at. Like you said, it's felt like you were locking in on, this is my target, this is my engage, and just always doing that rather than just reading the room a little bit better.